At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day. These are the news headlines, to Pidgin,
better country people, on a good evening.
Yoruba,
Ekaro, Ekodede Asikoyi, Shedadalabayi,
Igbo,
Ndewo, Auto Innovation, Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro,
and Hausa.
Mutane na sanar da zuwa, sunana Rakia Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you, faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Every second, every minute, every hour, and every day, time doesn't just tick away. It's a countdown to political decisions that shape our world.
This country must move.
Imagine the impact these decisions have on our lives. Some are consequential, others may leave us intrigued or baffled.
You will have no better friend and partner than Nigeria.
Step in and feel the frenzy like never before. Join me every weekday for an hour of fact-finding interviews, but questions cut to the core.
How would you say your administration has fared in these sectors?
I will dig in to get to the heart of issues, from local politics to global insight. Join me as I unearth the power plays, jaw-dropping revelations, and the unfiltered truth. This isn't just politics, it's unraveling the stories that matter. Brace yourself for Politics Tonight every weekday at 8 p.m., where every decision echoes along the corridors of our lives.
Hello and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Binga Oreshegun. Today on the program, General Abdulsalami advises President Trump to support Nigeria's fight against insecurity instead of issuing threats, urges restraint. INEC Chairman Professor Amupitan visits Anambra State ahead of governorship poll as IGP urges peace, tolerance, deploys personnel to flashpoints. And later on the show, 15,000 candidates forge admission letters to secure NYC mobilization as JAMB intensifies verification. Well, I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju and Adewale Adeoye. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Partnership, not provocation, often yields better outcomes in global diplomacy, especially when addressing sensitive security challenges. In light of recent comments by President of the United States of America, a former head of state, retired General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has advised President Donald Trump to support Nigeria in the fight against insecurity rather than resorting to threats or inflammatory remarks. While urging Nigerians to unite to protect their country from external threats, General Abubakar emphasized the need for strategic dialogue with President Trump to address the issues. Okay, BK, welcome back once again. Former head of state, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, retired, has joined other prominent Nigerians, to weigh in on this matter. He said, support Nigeria, not issue threats. How do you react to this?
I agree that that's the way to go. I believe that President Trump is committed to the defeat of terror in our country. Remember when President Buhari visited him shortly after he won the election, he promised to help him defeat terror. And he went ahead to allow Nigeria to have access to American weapons, the Tucano bombers that were delivered in 2 tranches. So this is not someone who is opposed to helping Nigeria. If the producers will allow us to listen to this, you will hear him express his desire to help Nigeria defeat terror. And significantly, before Trump took office, Obama refused to sell weapons to Nigeria, citing the Leahy Law. The Leahy Law was what Trump and other Republicans bypassed to allow us have access.
Okay.
To
all right, BK,
bombers.
let's watch President Donald Trump, when he was meeting with the former President Buhari.
It's an honor to be with President Buhari of Nigeria. We have many things that we do together, as you know, probably especially on terrorism and terrorism-related. We also have a very big trade deal that we're working on for military equipment, helicopters, and the like. We have met before. We have developed a great relationship, and we look forward to our discussion today. Very important, but again, especially as it relates to terrorism. And that's terrorism here and terrorism all over the world. It's a hotbed, and we're going to be stopping that. Also, we've had very serious problems with Christians who have been murdered, killed in Nigeria. We're going to be working on that problem, and working on that problem very, very hard, because we can't allow that to happen. Mr. President, thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Really great honor.
I thank Mr. President. Honor and very.
All right, BK, you heard this is not the first time.
Yes, for more than 8 years, Trump had been fixated on the story of Christians being massacred, mass murder of Christians and all that. And if he said this to our president back then, because after the president won the election, he invited him over, he wanted to help him. And he used the opportunity to talk about the killing of Christians. So it's not like he just suddenly began to think about it. And look at how strongly he said we cannot allow that to happen. So he's always been fixated on this matter. What triggered him, according to CNN, was a program that he was watching on Fox News, where they were talking about Nigerian Christians being murdered in thousands and all that. And according to CNN, he came down from Air Force One. He directed his guy in the department,
the War Department.
The War Department. He named it War Department rather than Defense Department, to prepare to take action against Nigeria. One thing is certain: no one is saying people are not being killed, but a misreading of the situation is to make it look like only Christians are being killed in large numbers. When Boko Haram attacks a community, once that community is not in southern Kaduna, for example, southern Borno, even in southern Borno, there are many communities that are dominated by
Christians.
Muslims.
Okay, Muslims, okay.
Yes, it's not like every part of southern Borno. In fact, Bayo, local government in southern Borno, you have indigenous Fulanis, and you can't say those ones are Christians. I don't want to go so much into that. But the point that I'm making is that the misinformation out there, the propaganda out there is that, oh, Christians are being killed in large numbers. But they do not talk about Muslims who are also being killed in large numbers.
Exactly.
In August, in Katsina, 50 Muslims were killed inside their mosque.
Yeah, worshippers.
Some were shot, some were even burnt alive. The way it happens in the northwest, Zamfara, Katsina, and some parts of Kaduna, not southern Kaduna now, when the bandits attack, especially reprisal attacks, maybe vigilantes stood up to them and they lost some of their men. When they come back, they burn down entire villages, leading to the death of people in huge numbers. When such people die, they are usually Muslims. It depends on where the attack has taken place.
Okay.
You understand? If it's in Zamfara, Zamfara is predominantly Muslim. I'm not saying we don't have indigenous Christians. There is no state in Nigeria where you don't have indigenous Christians. There's no state. Whether it's Katsina, whether it's Kaduna, whether it's Sokoto, whether it's even Kano, they are indigenous. Whether it's Zamfara, they are indigenous Christians. They may not be in large numbers. Okay. But I'm saying that where the attack happens determines the preponderance of a particular faith.
Okay.
In terms of the fatality numbers. If people are killed, places like Baga in Borno, we've seen people killed in hundreds in that place. It's usually the Muslims. Because in Baga is heavily dominated by Muslims. And we've seen cases like that. When people get killed in those places that the bandits in Zamfara usually attack, most of the time is the Muslims that get killed in high numbers. We've seen Shiites killed, even in hundreds in our country. Those people too, their lives are not more important.
Their lives matter too.
And Delegiwa made this point that we should not be talking even about numbers. We should be talking about the fact that no one deserves to die in the circumstances that we are talking about. So, for me, there is a need, just as General Abdulsalami has said, there's a need for us to work on diplomacy. I welcome President Trump assisting us in dealing decisively with these killings, whether because a lot of them are the result of communal conflicts and all that. Many people don't know that today in northern Nigeria, there is a big conflict leading to loss of lives between the Hausa and the Fulani. The Hausa are predominantly farmers.
Okay.
The Fulani are herders.
Pastoralists.
Yes. So the conflict arising from your cattle came into my farm, leading to loss of lives, is between those two ethnic nationalities. So we need to defeat terror.
Yes.
We need to defeat banditry. If America will help, the way they have helped, and there are many ways by which they can help with the technology that they are blessed with. The same way they help Israel. They help Israel a great deal.
Yes.
So we are saying that is better than to say, oh, you want to come and help us to bomb. No, we don't need them to come into Nigeria and drop bombs. We need them to assist. And I'll be happy if maybe just one takeaway from this whole saga, if this drives us to ramp up our efforts to defeat these bandits and the terrorists who are killing our people.
Okay.
Maybe that's the only, what do I say, the only good thing that may come out of this whole thing.
I mean, Adewale, prominent Nigerians, you know, they've actually weighed in on this matter. Persons like Rabiu Kwankwaso, Anambra State Governor Soludo, Sulamido, you know, just to mention a few. They all emphasized on the respect of Nigeria's sovereignty and supporters don't threaten. How do you weigh in on this?
Well, I think there have been all sorts of distortions, you know, on this issue. And I think it's very important for us to get it very clear and to look at the issues strand by strand. The first thing is that President Trump's statement was anticipatory. It was conditional. That, look, this is going on in Nigeria and the president should do something. If not, the U.S. may be forced to take unilateral action. The other angle also is that, just like Babangida said, there have been killings going on for so many years. And there are different types of killings with different missions. There are those that are Muslims that are killing fellow Muslims. There are situations where Christians have been major targets, especially where you have predominant Christian communities. We also have bandits that are just killed at random. They don't know your faith, they don't care about your faith. They are criminals. So if you say, are there Christians being killed in Nigeria? The answer is yes. Are Muslims being killed in Nigeria? The answer is yes. Do we have people who have the agenda that want to Islamize Nigeria? The answer is yes. Do we have people who are politicians, who are big men, who are supporting terrorism? The answer is yes. So now, it is now left for us to see how we can turn around this message from the President of America to our own advantage. Because when people are talking about sovereignty, yes, it is part of the 7 principles of the United Nations. One of them is principle of sovereignty. One of them is principle of non-interference in the affairs of other countries. Okay. But over the years, we have seen these laws broken by different interests. In fact, since 1776, the American government has invaded no fewer than 70 countries. The UK is even worse. UK has invaded at least about 90% of countries in this world. Out of 200 countries, it's only 22 countries that the UK has not invaded. So in terms of international law, people don't actually stick strictly to it. And it's not also absolute. The Security Council has provision, the UN, that if there is a feeling that a state is manifestly failing to protect its citizens, a country can intervene, but you must pass through the Security Council. But this has been broken several times by the US and Britain. Now, the other distortion is that people, you read that, oh, Trump wants to attack Nigeria. And they try to present this as if Trump is looking for regime change. They are trying to liken Nigeria to Iraq, to Afghanistan, to Libya. Trump is not saying that he wants to come and attack Nigeria. He's saying he wants to attack terrorist cells in Nigeria. Trump is not looking for a change of regime, you know, of the current government. So for me, I think what we need is constructive engagement. We need to up the antenna of our international relations. How robust has been our engagement with this government since it came about less than 2 years ago? Then in terms of our foreign policy, do we have career diplomats or we have politicians?
Earlier today, we heard news that there are moves to appoint new ambassadors.
We need to focus on career diplomats.
You think it's a strategic response?
It's good. The career diplomats, not when you pick an ambassador to the US, the next thing he's thinking is that he wants to be the governor of his state. So he's actually working towards that. He's not concerned about actually doing his work as a diplomat. The other angle is that I think that the president of Nigeria should now look for a way to seek meetings. It may not necessarily be with Trump, but at least the power brokers in the US. And I think it's not a meeting between the president where you'll be talking about ministers, senate president. It needs to go with people that matter. There are people that command global respect in this country. One of them is Father Kuka. Okay. One of them is, Pastor Deboye. One of them is Kumuyi, who was the only person invited Christian leader. I think there was another person from Akwa Ibom State.
Yes.
So then you need people who can command, and even when you are going for that kind of meeting, also look for victims, Christians and Muslims, who are victims of violence. Maybe young people, 3 or 4 of them. We have this man from Plateau State, I think Abdullahi Abubakar, who saved 300 Christians.
Okay, the man that was
the imam of a mosque. I was given a national award. Where he'll be very old now, maybe about almost 90 years, because that was 2018. These are the kind of people that people need to be with the president in order to engage President Trump. Well, he has a lot of information, but the information he has is not perfect. Remember the time he met with the South African president? He acted on a false information of burial, that was speak from another country, and he was reporting it to the president of South Africa as evidence of killings, in South Africa. He's a human being. It does not mean that every information that he gets is correct. So I think there is a need for robust engagement, between the president and then the government of United States. And I think we need to sharpen the edges of our international relations. We should have dealt with this problem ab initio. We shouldn't have allowed it to get to this.
So you think if we had ambassadors, something we could have...
We would have, there would have been a kind of channels of communication. And this thing is not about, the current president. You heap the whole blame on him. This problem started about 15 years ago. So it's accumulated, cases of killings, of, failing state, of failing authorities.
That was the point that the current president made. That in the last 2 years, these killings have even gone down. That's what the current president said, that, look, no one is denying that killings are taking place, but they have reduced drastically. And I also know, as someone who moves around, that Southern Kaduna, for example, where so many of the communities have been raided and people killed, Southern Kaduna is much safer now than before. For example, the places that I went to in Kaduna State, I didn't use a single policeman. I moved around. And there was a time that even our vehicle broke down. We had the electrical issues.
And you were not scared? You
on the
felt
way,
safe.
yes, on the way to Pambegua, you were right there. You will see the video. Surrounded by hills, which serves as foliage for bad people. But we were confident that, look, things have changed. Those areas are far more secure now. So it's unfortunate that some people are trying to politicize this matter. You see, some people, their comments are very predictable on this matter. And because they do not like the person who is in government. But it is your country, it's about your country. And that is the point that General Salami was making. Let me try to quote him. He said that we should be focused on national unity, diplomacy, and restraint. And he described what is going on as a serious external provocation. This is a moment for Nigerians to protect the sovereignty and integrity of our nation. We must not allow external influences or inflammatory statements to divide us. Unity, wisdom, and diplomacy must take precedence over division and pride at this critical time. So that is the point.
I saw that.
Many people saw it.
I'm sure they did.
They saw it.
But the thing is, how can the U.S. and Nigeria, we need to find a common ground here.
Yeah.
Against terrorism, banditry, we need to find a common ground.
You see, it may come as a bad news, but if properly managed, it could be to the advantage of this country. For this, I want to say so where, in terms of technical cooperation, the U.S. and the Nigerian army can cooperate to deal with terrorism. And I think this has also given us the fact that we are not alone. The international community is looking at us. And it has also given the impression that, look, we have been crying, we have been debating this issue here. Nobody listened to us until one person in the U.S. now tweets and everybody's running up and down. So I think if we handle it very well, it's to our advantage, because terrorists are moving down south, moving everywhere. So even the Nigerian government can cooperate with the U.S. government. And I also know there are politicians who want terrorism to continue. They are using it as a political bargaining chip.
Yes.
So this tweet from Trump is a very good thing, at least for them. Some will think, oh, we have to make the country to be governable, so that 2027 there will be debates for us to say we have to remove the people in power. So this now shows that clearly, you know, there's no hiding place for them. So if there is and there are some people that are seen as sacred cows, you cannot touch them. Somebody went to the bush to meet terrorists. He was given red carpet. You know, this same person was banned from entering Saudi Arabia. But here they are like lords. So if the international community can cooperate with the Nigerian government, it's an opportunity to put an end to terrorism and their sponsors who are using terrorism as a political tool to weaken the government for electoral reasons.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Beautiful conversation. We need to go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away.
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools, and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks, and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks, and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. States category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
Guys, food is ready.
Suitable for jollof rice, stew, spaghetti, and yam porridge. Cooked to impress.
Your skin is your wealth and perception is reality. Upgrade to affordable luxury brands from the La Roche-Posay range and the CeraVe range. Download the Conga app and shop on conga.com, MedPlus, Bido Pharmacy, Net Pharmacy, and Alpha Pharmacy. Conga Health, a subsidiary of Conga Group, is the exclusive distributor of L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, world's #1 dermatological beauty brand. Your skin is your wealth and perception is reality. Upgrade to affordable luxury brands from the La Roche-Posay range and the CeraVe range. Download the Conga app and shop on conga.com, MedPlus, Bido Pharmacy, Net Pharmacy, and Alpha Pharmacy. Conga Health, a subsidiary of Conga Group, is the exclusive distributor of L'Oreal Dermatological Beauty, world's #1 dermatological beauty brand.
All right, welcome back. It's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Adewale Adeoye right here and BQ. Now, straight to our next conversation. Ensuring credible elections demands trust, transparency, and proactive engagement from all stakeholders. As Anambra State prepares for the coming governorship election on Saturday, the 8th of November, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Amupitan, has visited the state to assess the level of preparedness and meet with critical stakeholders. During his visit, Professor Amupitan noted that the electoral body is ready to deliver a free, fair, and credible election. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Egbetokun, has deployed tactical teams to flashpoints in order to strengthen the security architecture across the state. The Inspector General urged peace and tolerance during the poll. Biko, the INEC chairman's visit to Anambra State. What's the significance of this visit?
Yes, confidence building. Our people need to trust the process, believe in the process, and be convinced that credible, transparent elections will happen. So, by going there and visiting 2 local governments, assessing the readiness of INEC, Amupitan was trying to send a message. Look, we take this election seriously. We will do our best to ensure that the election is transparent and that it reflects the will of the people of Anambra State. In fact, he told his staff that logistic materials must get to polling centers as early as 7 a.m. He also told them that the beavers must be in tip-top condition and that data fed into the beavers must reflect what transpired at the election. He made the point that collation of results must happen in the presence of polling agents.
Okay.
You know, in the past, they will lock polling agents away, and so that some people can change figures, especially at the local government collation centers.
Yeah,
So you say no, that we don't want this kind of interference in the system, that everything will be done to ensure that the election is credible, is transparent, and has integrity.
Absolutely.
So without electoral integrity, the voters will never, ever trust the system. They won't even want to be part of it. We want people to come out in good numbers on election day.
True.
In the East especially, even as popular as Peter Obi was, it still didn't even, the outcome didn't reflect 30% of the votes, of the registered voters. We didn't come close to 30%. So it means that a lot of our people still don't come out on election day because they believe that the people's will not prevail. But the more people have confidence in the system, you see that every electoral cycle, more people will come out and vote. And that's what we want to see. Why should the people of the Southeast be voting 20% of the registered voters? Of course, in the Southwest, the percentage of people who come out to vote is greater than the Southeast. The percentage of people who come out to vote in the Northwest is way higher. You know, so and that's what we want to see. In this election, we want to see more people come out, and we want INEC to put his house in order so that this election will be a flawless one.
Exactly.
And it will be a very good baptism of fire
for the new INEC.
This is coming in and facing an off-season election, just like that.
Now, you know, issues like late arrival of materials, malfunction, but the chairman has also promised to reduce pre-election litigations. He has made a lot of promises, actually. But do you have faith in him?
Well, I have no reason to doubt his capacity. I have more reasons to believe in him. Looking at his records, his past, it's an immaculate record, in the academic community. And I'm happy about the steps taken so far. The contestants have been made to sign peace understanding, to respect the outcome of the election, and also to be committed to non-violence. Whether they obey the treaty or not is another thing, but at least they have put their hands, through the effort of Father Kuka, head at the International Center in Abuja. I think I have confidence in Professor Amupitan that he will do a good job. However, he cannot do it alone. We are dealing with about 2.8 million voters, and about 5,170-something polling units in 21 local governments. So there is no way he can be there at every polling unit in every minute. So we need the cooperation of voters themselves. We need the cooperation of politicians. We need the cooperation of the media. We also need the cooperation of the government.
Okay.
So that the government will not use his, there will be no undue influence from the authority of that state. So there's no way the INEC chairman can do everything.
Exactly.
Even we also need cooperation from his staff. Yes, we want people who are honest, who are dedicated, who are, So we'll be lucky to have INEC chairman, really fantastic people. The problems has always been with other stakeholders. People will go on that day to go and bribe people, credit their accounts. People will bring talks to decimate the whole process, So Anambra is one of these flashpoints when I'm talking about, IPOB and all that. So I hope these are challenges that, will help Amupitan to be able to overcome.
Yes. Talking about flashpoints, the police IG has also deployed personnel to identify, the flashpoints. How are these deployments expected to improve safety and deter potential violence in this identified flashpoints?
Yeah, Anambra is a potentially combustible environment. Places like Ihiala, things are improving. Remember, even on the eve of the last election, Governor Soludo lost some of his security men. They were killed in broad daylight. And even the governor himself was attacked, So, but security is improving. But no one can say what exactly will happen on election day. These politicians sign peace deal all the time. It still doesn't stop those who are determined to instigate violence from instigating violence. One thing that I've always talked about, one item from the INEC rule book that I've always talked about here is the stipulation that where election is characterized by violence, results
will be cancelled.
The exercise will be cancelled in the area. Now, I believe that before you can do that, you must investigate the circumstances leading to that violence before determining that you will not have anything to do with the outcome of the election in that place. Because sometimes politicians deliberately go to sponsor violence in areas where they know their opponents are strong.
Okay.
So once they know that, okay, if we disrupt the process here, and they will come when the exercise is about to end, when they've seen clearly that this person has an unassailable lead, is going to win, and if we allow him to win by that margin in that area, it can affect the complexion of the election. They go there, disrupt the exercise, and then you cancel the whole exercise. So sometimes it rewards people who instigate violence. Yes. You see, the law shouldn't be rigid. It is because the law is rigid, that portion of the INEC rule book is rigid. That's why politicians continue to exploit it. So deliberately they will go and cause a fight somewhere, knowing that once they do that, no result shall be returned from
you think that. If it's amended in the Electoral Act, it can?
Yeah, I'm saying that they should. No one is saying that you should not cancel.
Yes.
Election results where the exercise is characterized by violence. But I'm saying that it has to first be investigated. Don't just do it, because sometimes when you do it, you play into the hands of the aggressor without knowing it. Now, I'm happy the IGP is suing for peace, but he's also warning the thugs that, look, don't dare the security agencies. Because if people get shot at, you know, these days, it's rare these days for people to grab ballot boxes, you know, because ballot stuffing in the era of beavers is a waste of time.
That's true.
People are not doing that anymore. They are not doing ballot stuffing anymore, no. But because ballots are serialized, if you do ballot stuffing, they can easily identify even where you took those ballot materials from. Yeah, it's so easy because it's serialized now, not like 2003 and all those Obasanjo era massive election rigging.
Exactly.
So now, we want, don't do it. Peace is what we want. We want an exercise that will be peaceful and reflect
the will
of the on the Anambra. That's what we want to see.
All right, to our final conversation. Integrity remains the foundation of any credible education system. When compromised, the ripple effects extend beyond the classroom. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has revealed that more than 15,000 candidates forged their admission letters to facilitate mobilization for the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. The registrar of the board, Professor Shakolede, said those involved are being prosecuted for alleged forgery. Professor Olede also disclosed that 17 deputy vice-chancellors, several deputy registrars and 4 JAMB members of staff are in custody of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, over similar allegations. I mean, 15,000 forged admission letters. How did we get there?
Thanks to JAMB's internal auditing and cross-verification of records. Without that, we wouldn't have been able to discover this huge number. And if you look at that number, 2004, JAMB mobilized, NYSC mobilized 103,000. So, Nigerians. So, 15,000 is far more than 10% of that figure. So, you can imagine that level of criminality.
Exactly.
And I actually believe this has been going on for a long time.
Yes.
But maybe for the first time, we are now looking at this area to find out, the crime being committed by. There's no way people will just wake up to do this kind of thing without internal collaborators. So you can't just wake up, drive the letter, and I believe the crime going on in NYSC goes beyond what we're discussing here. I know there are some people that they will collect the NYSC form, the letter, go to their place of primary assignment. They won't go there for 1 year. They will just go there and sign and bribe some officials. Some people are in overseas, but the records show that they are doing their service in Nigeria. So there should be more synergy between the academic institutions and NYSC. There should be constant tracking right from first year to final year, so that when people graduate, when it's only when you graduate and you pass through the normal process that you'll be able to go for NYSC. Because what these guys have done now is that they just want to go and collect government salary, and some will be denied that opportunity because the NYSC is in batches. So you are going to have our 15,000 people that are. So I think there is a network, a cartel that specializes in recruiting people for this kind of. So it's good to break that cartel and hold people that are responsible, hold them accountable.
All right, we need to go on another break. When we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away.
Progress no dey happen just like that. It dey come from support when you need am.
Mommy, I got the school fees. You too much.
Na money point oh.
Money point, thank you.
Customer, na transfer abi? Confirm.
Bro, na transfer.
Na money point oga. Oh, na confirm.
Progress na peace of mind when you know say payment go land as Sure Banker. Progress na small wind wey dey carry person go far.
No worry, yourself go make am. Mo go Bible.
Victor, even you dey use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point, made for your progress.
And cable, great quality, now with the new look.
You're welcome back. BKO, 17 deputy vice chancellors, several deputy registrars, 4 JAM members of staff, they are in custody. Let's talk accountability now. There need to be strong measures towards this.
You know, even from at the level of UTME itself, at the point when you take the examination, so many candidates are trying their best to cheat the system. 80 candidates were arrested, this year, trying to commit identity fraud, substitute themselves, more like somebody doing an exam for you, biometric fraud, all kinds of things were done, especially in collusion with the people who run some CBT centers. But JAM continues to impress by its vigilance. All of the steps that these people are taking using artificial intelligence are being exposed. But coming to, and I like the fact that JAM is even exposing states. In terms of electoral fraud, as it relates to the last UTME, Anambra came first in Nigeria, followed by Lagos, in that order. So JAM identified the states where a lot of these fraudulent acts took place in the course of the examination. But this particular issue that we are talking about, there is what is called the Central Admissions Processing System, CAPS. No student can be eligible for National Youth Service unless your admission passed through that CAPS. CAPS was instituted in 2017 to help clean up the system, because many people who are not even students, they end up doing youth service. because people go to pay. They pay agents who help them to get mobilized for youth service. Some had done youth service before, but because they have no job to do, they still remain unemployed. They find a way to go back here. Because whether we like it or not, it's still income for them.
And now they've increased it to 77.
So rather than sit at home and just waiting for resources to come from nowhere, they would rather go and do youth service again. You know, so this, what JAMB has done is to identify illegal admissions. So if you are a student and you accepted an admission that didn't pass through the CAPS, then you risk, even after your course of study, you risk not being mobilized for National Youth Service, because that is the system that JAMB has put in place to ensure that, okay, everything is verified. And
do you think there should be internal agency collaboration between NYSC, JAMB, NUC as well?
No, there is collaboration with institutions, with VC. There's hardly anything that JAMB does that doesn't get the VCs involved.
Okay.
Yes, even the at every step of the way, you see that those VCs are involved. And even when they had their glitch, they had to call education stakeholders, including VCs, and they then asked, okay, what do we do? Which led to the decision to have the people affected by the glitches, retake their papers. If not, only God knows what will happen. Maybe many of those students will have committed suicide. And some of the brightest students in our country were affected. Even the girl who scored 270, this girl that the student of a brighter son. Do you know that she was affected by that glitch? She had to do it again. And then scored 270, one of the best 10 in the country. So you can imagine if JAMB did not provide that opportunity
to retake the exam, she would have
she would have lost that opportunity.
Exactly.
As Camilla.
Yes. I mean, in rounding off this conversation, your passing thoughts.
Well, we are talking about corruption, which has also crept into the knowledge zone, which is not a very good thing for this country, and that we are having education without character. And it tells you the depth of, how corruption has eaten into the fabric of our country. Even these days, when you send children on an errand, they are expecting you to give them money. So corruption has become a way of life. And I hope that the government will do something, just like we were talking about terrorism, and they will not wait until they start getting tools from outside to deal with corruption, that they will act now. If not, corruption will lead to all sorts of things.
How about tougher penalties for the perpetrators?
Yes, less 15,000. In other countries, there will be steeper penalty.
Yes.
We have mentioned some VCs who are being investigated. It shouldn't be a secret thing. If a tomato seller, sees something and then you show his picture and all that, then because you are VC does not mean that your name should not be in print. You need to know those people.
You cannot unilaterally give people admission.
Yes.
You must pass through JAMB. You must pass through CAPS.
Exactly.
So that everybody can see that.
Apart from this, when people want to gain admission, the VC has its own slot. Ministers have their own slot. Yes. Children of poor who are from vulnerable homes don't have opportunity. Absolutely. The thing is hijacked, especially for special courses like law, medicine, and all that.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this with us. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. BKO, it's good to have you back in Lagos. Thank you so much for doing this with us as well. And that's it on Journalist Hangouts today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangouts on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga. Oresha, bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
Banks, our schools, our hospitals. Let's stand together. Let's protect our networks. Dial 622 from any network or send an email to protect@ncc.gov.ng to report any suspicious activity around telecommunication infrastructure.
Once upon a time in Nigeria, stories shaped who we were. Under the moonlight, our grandparents told tales of courage, honesty, and unity. Through stories, we learned how to live. But somewhere along the way, we forgot. New stories came from faraway lands, and slowly we lost our own. But now, a new story begins. In this 21st century, animation has become our new village square, and it's time we tell our own stories in animation. The nationalization of children's cartoon content policy isn't just a policy, it's a promise that Nigerian children will grow up seeing heroes who look like them, speak like them, and dream for them. This is what we will achieve with the federal government's nationalization of cartoon content policy. Meet Captain Excellence, guardian of the citizen codes. 7 timeless values that awaken the greatness inside every Nigerian child. Discipline, duty of care, tolerance, leadership, transparency, environmental awareness, resilience. These building blocks of our great nation will now be brought to life through the